This is the Dery Brothers Tribecast, a podcast for diehard Cleveland Indians fans. Presented to you by waitingfornextyear.com. Now, here are the hosts, Matt and Todd Dery.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Another edition, another week of the Dery Brothers Tribecast, brought to you by our friends at waitingfornextyear.com and the Center for Advanced Dentistry. Tribe gets a win on Sunday, salvaging one in this three-game set with the Twins. The division is all but done, but the Indians, kind of an impressive performance today, hanging on to win 7-5 over the Twins. Matt and Todd with you. In what's been kind of a rough week, certainly, for the Indians, and the Rays and A's keep winning, and it's getting a little depressing. Todd, you were down there today. Thank goodness they hung on and got this one done. And look, the team's going to fight, but certainly a disappointing weekend, starting with that rain out Friday and then yesterday's debacle.
We're here to fight.
Yeah. Yes.
You said impressive win today. I would disagree with that, but a win is a win, whether it's 20-1 or 1-0, a win is a win, and we will take it considering how bad the weekend was. What sucks is you ride into this weekend on a 4-game winning streak, 5 of 6. You're 3.5 back. Friday night's crowd was massive, and the excitement in that first inning where they Jorge Polanco again destroyed a home run, but the Indians came back. Frankie had that leadoff single. He turned into a double, and he got up, and he raised his arms and fired up, and everyone. It was like, yeah, this is it. This is like playoff baseball here. They tied it at 2. There was a buzz in that park, and then they should have never started the game. I was here. Obviously, I'm here. This is the worst storm I've seen here in probably since I moved back here in 2006. I've never seen a storm like this.
What about that barometric? What about that barometric pressure?
No, but it was. I think that was really tough, and I think that kind of killed some momentum in the weekend because I went yesterday, and during the day game we can get into that, and you didn't have the big crowd, and it was lackluster. And then last night was felt like a season ender. That it was just that Sano Grand Slam just felt like a season ender. So they salvaged the win today. They're going to have to get some help, but I certainly don't feel nearly as good as I did a week ago when you and I talked.
It's crazy because the Indians have had 2 winning series in Minnesota, so you figure coming home this weekend and kind of lining up their pitching with their best 2 guys at least. Maybe you could argue their top 3 guys with Savali, Clev, and Shane Bieber, and yet you lose 2 out of 3. Minnesota has always – there's some guys on that team, Kepler, Polanco, Sano, and Rosario, that just like I talk about the White Sox all the time, they seem to see the baseball very well at Progressive Field. They've always mashed in our stadium. And, in years past, and you know me very well, you know me as well as anybody, I would be pissed off. I always view a season as a failure unless we get a ring. That's just how I am. I'm done with look, I cry when we make to the World Series. I cry when we win every series. But, I want a ring. I want a championship. And this year I'm tipping my cap to the Twins. I don't like them, but not at all. But they're better than we are. They just are. And last night was a prime example.
You're right. The better team, they are. They are a better team. I mean, yeah. Do the Indians have better pitching? Sure, but the way that Minnesota has hit the ball all season long, you can't deny it. That lineup is fierce.
Yeah, it is.
And we saw it all weekend. Polanco, Rosario, and Sano just killed us all weekend long. Kepler constantly has been a thorn in our side. They're good, and
they're deeper. They're deeper too. Like
yes,
we lose Naquin and J-Ram, and we're throwing out there Ryan Flaherty today, and Greg Allen trying to hit right-handed the other day where he can't. They've got Jake Cave, who would start on our team. Arise, they brought up only because Scope was hurt earlier in the year, and he stays. I mean, they've got 3 catchers that all can play, all 3. So, we've got 1.5.
Yeah, it was frustrating, and again, in normal years, by the way, the Indians are they're going to end up winning more than 90 games.
Right.
Normal years, you're making the playoffs with that.
Yep.
And you go into October with this pitching staff, and you feel like, okay, but, the bullpen seems to be falling apart at the worst possible time. Without Jose Ramirez, and listen, I'm not going to put Naquin in the same sentence with Jose Ramirez, but not having Naquin, who was a steadying presence batting ninth and playing good defense in left field. And, you got Luplow back, and Luplow's doing his job from his side of the plate. We can certainly get into how Tito used Luplow this weekend. And where was Jake Bauers, by the way, today? For the most part, this weekend. But you're right. You said it from the beginning, and it's true. The Twins are a better team, but I wonder. A game here, a game there. You could say that for any schedule, but Saturday just really did feel like some sort of the end of the season almost. And I know there's 12 games left and anything's possible. And as you and I record this, they're still, they're 2 back in the loss column to Tampa, but just doesn't have that feeling,
No, and we're going to get into, we got a couple of issues. Number one, like you mentioned, the bullpen. We got to get into that. Number two, the team once again decides to go all Kremlin and Michigan football on us and don't tell us anything and keep the wall up. And all of a sudden, like 8th inning of a game, you find out that the closer's not even with the team. That was bullshit. And then terrible. And then also we got to get into this season ticket holders flap that you are apparently in. No names, please, but we got to get into that. I just, I watched the games this weekend, and I had one eye on the Detroit Lions game today and one on the Tribe game. And, Roberto Perez, it's crazy. We never mentioned Santana. We never mentioned Perez because they're always so consistent. And without those two guys this year, and again, Perez today, I don't know what Baldelli was doing. He decided to put Kyle Gibson, his struggling 4th or 5th starter, into relief today. And Roberto hits one out to give us the lead. Maybe the biggest, one of the biggest hits of the season, again, because they can't get a big hit. It seems like ever since Jose Ramirez's hand injury that it's been RBI ground out here or error here by the other team or a fielder's choice or sac fly. Perez today delivering that 3-run bomb to give them the lead was enormous for their playoff chances. Enormous.
I was at the game with Andrew today, and when they got down 4-2 after that Lamonte Wade Jr. hitting 087 hit the homer off of Bieber, I was like, this is it. I mean, we're done. It
was shades of 05 White Sox. All we needed was Ozzie. All we needed was Ozzie Guillen to come out of the dugout with the choke sign.
Oh God! And to your point that you texted me before the game, you look at the lineup that Baldelli threw out there today. It was like we just clinched the division last night, so we're going to give all of our regulars rest lineup. You didn't have Polanco didn't play. Who else didn't play? There were 3 of their big guys didn't play.
Kepler
didn't play.
And then what's his nuts? The catcher that kills us, Garver. Well, he didn't play either.
Didn't play, and Cruz didn't play.
And Barrios didn't start. This is his regular day to start, and they pulled him.
Barrios for your boy Randy Dobnik, straight from the USPBL.
Correct.
And he went 5 innings and gave up 1 run. And it was a infielder's choice in the first. I mean, it was the second run the Indians got in the first was an unearned run. They were kicking the ball around the Twins today. It felt like they had all been drinking the night before. But like you said, they just couldn't come up with a big hit all weekend. I was there yesterday afternoon, and it was yesterday afternoon's game when I was there with Brooke. Carlos Santana came up in the 3rd with the bases loaded, and after Jorge Polanco hit the 2-run homer to put him up 2-0, 3-2, bases loaded, runners moving. He laces the ball to short, and Polanco makes a diving catch. And it seemed like from that point on, it was like we all knew the game was over, even though it was the 3rd inning. All game long, they kept putting guys on. And like you said, it came up, Luplow had started, and he had yanked him earlier in the game for a pinch hitter. But you knew that coming up later in the late innings, you're going to see Taylor Rogers and Greg Allen, who's hitting about 1,000. His numbers from the right side are atrocious, and he let him go up there hitting right-handed, and obviously did not deliver. But it was like another. Oh my God! How many times are they going to fail coming up with a big hit? And thank God Roberto did it today. But weekend
right.
long,
I mean, you mentioned
they couldn't get a big hit, and then Saturday night.
Right.
In the first inning.
Same thing. Lewis Thorpe.
Lewis the third.
That's right.
Couldn't throw strikes, bases loaded, nobody out, and he strikes 3 guys out in a row. You got to step on the guy's throat, and that's why they lost that game. Was it when
we couldn't get the lobster and the cracked crab against Winthorpe?
Nope.
It's horrible.
Oh God.
Trading Places, great movie. Doesn't get enough credit. I know Eddie Murphy's going to be. Is he going to be hosting Saturday Night Live soon?
Yes. Yes.
That will be that'll be like must see TV because you don't know if he's funny anymore or not. I don't know why.
Trading Places is the greatest comedy ever made, and anybody who disagrees with that statement is wrong.
Whoa. But yeah, like you said yesterday. I mean, Thorpe's walk in the ballpark. It's 2-2 in the first inning last night, and bases loaded, no outs, and didn't get a run in. Franmil Reyes had a horrible weekend.
Was he bad?
He was a part of that, and he's so likable. And when he hits the ball so hard, but he's so streaky. Puig the same thing. Who was it today? Did someone text you or you showed me some tweet where someone hit a home run, Lamonte Wade, and you said he's got 1 home run on the year. That's more than home runs that Puig has in our ballpark all season.
Puig has hit hold on. I want to pull it up because I know
he has 2 home runs as an Indian, but they're not in this. And they're not at home.
No, I know that. I know that Lamonte Wade has 1 more homer at Progressive Field than Yasiel Puig. It was Puig's stats coming into today. He has 2 homers as a member of the Indians, and he hasn't homered. It'll be now in his last. If he had 4 at bats today, it'll be his last 96 at bats, which is 26 games. And in that span, a 217, 324, 283 slash line. That was courtesy of James Rapine from 92.3 Tribe Beat Report.
PK has as many home runs.
Yes, he does.
Matt and Todd with you. It is the Dery Brothers Tribecast. Recording on a Sunday here. Off day for the Indians tomorrow on a Monday, then back at it at home. A lengthy homestand for once, thanks to the schedule makers. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights against the Tigers. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Didn't they move that to Sunday night baseball next week?
6:30, and we'll be going directly up against the Browns and the Rams at the lakefront. I'm sure that if you'd like to go to,
Oh my God.
I'm sure if you'd like to go to that game, good seats can be had. The other thing that sucks, as if you're an Indian season ticket holder and you're a Browns fan, when that game was at 1:10, you had the opportunity to spend the full day downtown.
Correct.
Going to the Indians game, last home game of the year. Go out for dinner or drinks before the Browns game, and then head over to the stadium for the Browns. What a great day that would have been. Nope. MLB's got to come in and take away that, big the final home game of the year attendance, and they're gonna get dog shit for that game, which is really too bad.
But they get the ESPN money. The organization does. I believe
big of a difference.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know the team gets some money for being on national television, but I don't know how much it is.
I'll tell you this. Yesterday afternoon, I got into a big attendance conversation with several people on Twitter because when I went into that game yesterday, there was about 5,000 people in the park. It ended up, I'm going to guess they had 15 there yesterday. A game of that magnitude, it was 70 degrees, sunny, little breeze, perfect day for baseball. There was nobody there. And I know people were like, it was a mega game. I mean, college football and the Buckeyes were playing. Please, if that game was played in St. Louis or Milwaukee or a real baseball city, people would have showed up.
Todd, we're not. Why you're getting all mad? You know we're not. You know we're not those cities.
But in the meantime, I ran into our good friend Les Levine today, and Les said to me that he was told that every person that comes into the ballpark, on average, spends $28 per person. That's the number, on concessions and whatnot. So if the Indians were smart, what they would have said was, hey, $5 to get into the Saturday afternoon game. Just put them all out there. $5 a ticket, But or they could have figured something out. I mean, they really could have. I don't get it.
Here's the problem. When you have a Friday night rain out and they say, final trip of the year for the Twins in, gotta play this thing tomorrow, so it's a split doubleheader, they don't have enough time to put that together. Now, you're right. Very, very, very good organizations and creative organizations will have a backup plan. It seemed like the Indians were kind of caught with their pants down, and of course MLB and the umpires make the call on the game starting. But I'm with you. In those situations, it's always good to say, hey, look, give the tickets to kids or get groups down here. Easier said than done when you have a weekend where you're planning on big crowds for Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Now you're telling all your employees, everybody, hey, you're supposed to be at the ballpark at 4 for tomorrow night's 7 o'clock game. Guess what? We need you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So that's kind of why I cut them a little slack. But I'm not you. You were there. So you sit there and go, you're stewing because you're like, this is a huge game and no one's here. I get it. But it's a tough call to have to do in less than 24 hours. Less than 12 hours.
You on that Sunday 6:30 game is the same thing. Open up the park.
Yes.
$5 for every
yeah, you've got notice for that. You have no excuse. You have all week this week to figure something out.
I mean, the way this weekend handling of everything. Do you want to get into this now, or do you want to? Can we get into this now?
The season ticket holder thing?
Yes.
Sure. Why not?
Okay, so
it's your show.
Our show. So
you're rolling right now.
For most people who are regular listeners to this podcast know that I am a season ticket holder to the Indians, and I go to today was, I believe, game 43 for me. And for one of the perks that they give is a full team autograph party, essentially, or event. Usually at some point during the summer. How they organize it is another conversation for another day. But it gives season ticket holders the opportunity to get an autograph of basically every player on the team except for the pitcher. On my sneeze. Excuse me.
There you go.
Thank you.
By the way, you better be very careful what you say because you could get blocked on Twitter by the Indians like hipster Tito.
I have.
Did you see me respond to him last night? I've had enough.
We had some back and forth last night over DM.
I told him to let it go because he needs to let it go.
I respect his stance. If he wants to go and have that stance,
but I don't. But as a follower of his, I'm very close to muting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Anyways, so the season ticket holder party is supposed to be from 12:30 to 2 this Saturday, when there was supposed to be a night game. And, you're supposed to, gates opened at 12, players were going to sign from 1 to 2, and, you get your opportunity to get an autograph from every player. So the rain out happens, and even before they called the game, it was basically, I think the email came across, in fact, I can tell you right now because I didn't delete it. The email came across at... Hang on.
See, this is inside info, folks. You're not going to get anywhere else.
Exactly. 9 p.m.
You think you're getting this on? You think you're getting this on the Ken Carman show with Anthony Lima? Forget it.
With Anthony Lima. Okay. It says ticket news canceled. 2019 season ticket holder event. Hello. We are reaching out to you to inform you that tomorrow's season ticket event is being canceled and will not be rescheduled for this year.
Uh-oh.
Following a 6 a.m. return from California on Thursday morning, this evening's unfortunate delay will result in another late night for our team. With a limited number of games remaining in a tight postseason race, we want to give our players the ability to focus 100% on their efforts on making the postseason for a fourth consecutive year. We apologize for the inconvenience and understand the frustrations that come with canceling tomorrow's event. Our staff and players know how much our season ticket holders appreciate the event, and we hope to make it up to you with great play on the field during these last Let me read that sentence again.
No, please don't.
Our staff
please
and
don't.
players
Please don't.
know how much our season ticket holders appreciate this event, and we hope to make it up to you with great play on the field during these final 2 weeks.
Who wrote that crap? That's awful.
Most tone-deaf
that's bad.
I've ever heard in my life.
That's bad.
It's insulting, People pay thousands of dollars for these tickets for seasons. We're not asking for much. What's wrong with next Saturday at 1 when there's a night game? Why not have it in, say, July? So if it rains, you can move it to August. Or have it in August. If it rains, you move it to September. Whoever ran this, sent out this email, literally should be fired for typing that sentence. They should be. And
that's bad form.
Dumb, and tone deaf for putting that out there.
That's bad form.
You and I talk about how great this organization is.
We love it. We love it. No one supports them like us. No one.
Exactly. And we respect the stability. And they're, year in and year out, they've been competitive during this Tito era. But the way they treat their season ticket holders and their patrons is rinky-dink, minor league. It is appalling. This email was so unbelievably pathetic. I can't even.
So what? Besides us railing on them now on the Dery Brothers Tribecast here, which you can listen to
by the Center for Advanced Dentistry.
Well, what's your next move? What's your next move? Are you gonna?
What's my next move?
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna write Are you gonna email somebody? Make a phone call? I would. Why not?
I mean, I could, but I don't. Trust me when I tell you, there are more than just me upset about this, and people who are,
squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Should I say, are probably handling this. So, yeah, am I going to write a letter? I guess.
Who's your? Do you have a person that is your salesperson?
I do, and he's good. Brent Cartwright. He does a nice job. I've never.
Cartwright.
Yeah, I never had a problem. So,
all right, why don't you give him a call? I would.
I'll probably lob an email.
Yeah, hey, man, just check.
I got enough shit going on in my life.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's a quick email like, hey, just checking in. Want to let you know I'm very disappointed. Thought the letter was a little bit, a little bit of a slap.
Yes, if you wrote it, get a new line of work.
No, you're going to be nice about it. But they need to hear from you. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. I'm not saying they're going to send you an autographed ball with James Hoyt on there, but
You mean new closer, James Hoyt?
Oh, man. All right. Well, I think you made your feelings known. I support you 100% on this. I think that note was ridiculous. You should be getting the players playing hard and making a run to the playoffs anyway. That's It's
insulting.
It is.
Yeah, so
very poor planning for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, Tribe wins today. Salvages one with the Twins. Again, Detroit for 3. Philly for 3 next weekend. We'll get you all the pitching matchups. Good news on the pitching front, at least when we face the Phillies next weekend, because their ace, Aaron Nola, will not be pitching against the Indians, so that is good. Tribe, as we record this right now, 2 back of the Rays. Oakland, did they ever lose? Oakland and Tampa, it's like they're playing against North Royalton and Orange. It's insane.
The A's are right now just an absolute juggernaut. They are killing teams. They took 3 of 4 this week in Houston.
Yeah, they beat up Verlander. Thanks a lot.
Turdlander, way to show up for us when we need
He must not have taken his shot before the game. He must have taken a week off.
Well, the good news is as we're recording, not that this score is going to hold up because it never seems to, but the Angels are up 3-1 on the Rays at the end of 3.
Finally, please.
Yeah.
Miracle.
Well, if we're going to catch one, it's going to be Tampa. It's not going to be Oakland. Oakland and the Twins, we've given up on the division. Oakland and the Twins, literally, their final 12 games are against, the Little Sisters of the Poor and, whoever else. They got nobody left. It's like Alabama's pre-conference football schedule. The rest of the way for those two teams.
It's like an OHSAA schedule.
Yes, exactly. So you got Tampa's got is in the middle of their toughest stretch. So hopefully the Angels can hang on and that'll be that. But I don't know the way those two teams are playing, the way the Indians are not hitting, and the way this bullpen is performing all of a sudden. Doesn't have me feeling too good. How about you?
That's my question for you, okay? I don't – today, Whitgren came in the 6th. Was it the 6th or the 7th? I think it was the 6th. And he gives up a solo blast to Rosario. And I'm thinking to myself, I like Nick Whitgren. I'm a fan. I think he's pitched well this year. I think when he elevates his fastball, it's tough to hit. He's tough. And it was a beautiful pickup, basically a waiver pickup from the Marlins, I believe. by Antonetti and our guy. Why am I drawing a blank? Cherninetti, as I like to call him. But why is he pitching in the sixth? The other night he closed the game, and that's where I think Tito can be questioned. Is I think right now plenty of guys are coming out of that pen. I think most of them will tell Tito, "I'll take the ball whenever," and it's a great attitude to have. But with the Brad Hand injury, it's almost like they're going down the stretch, and he's closing his eyes or is being blindfolded with a dartboard and just kind of throwing stuff at the wall.
In my head, while you were saying that, was he's throwing a dart at a dartboard, and whoever it lands on is literally that's what I was thinking. Whitgren, I'll say this: I think he went to Whitgren in the sixth because he needed to stop the bleeding, so he felt like he was going to throw his best guy out there in that instance, and he'll figure it out the rest of the way. Right now, Nick Goody and the slider of death is not getting it done. When they brought him in last night, first of all, Tito did not handle the pen well at all in the nightcap Saturday night. I didn't like starting. Was it Simber that started the inning?
I believe so. It was No, it was.
So Clipper pitched 2 was good. Was good. He pitched 2. Wood pitched 2. Carrasco pitched 2. Simber pitched 1. Yes, and then he brought him out to start the 7th instead of
Oliver Perez.
Yes, and he left. He waited too long. It was just. He basically waited too long and left Simber in too long, and basically should have just started with his best guy, which is Oliver Perez, or started the inning with Goody if you were going to use him. When he ended up going to the slider of death, he died by the slider of death, which was a hanger, and Sano was sitting there.
That was a hang and bang. Whew, baby. Sano he crushed that thing. But I wasn't even that mad. You called it. I wasn't even that mad. I was like, God damn, he's got to come in and face Sano. Sano's like ice cold, but so due. And then first pitch, he just torched that thing. He hit that thing to. 4
for 7 in his career against Goody with 5 strikeouts before that at bat. By the way, I did read that today, but it was, I think that the reason why we can question how Tito reacted there was basically because, like you said, he's reaching for the dart. He's reaching for the darts blindfold and throwing it and seeing who can get people out. We were hoping at this point, hopefully, Carlos Carrasco was going to be able to kind of, become what Justin Masterson was that last week in 2013, or be that bullpen weapon. But his slider is meat.
It's that one pitch because he looks healthy. The fastball's got some life on it. We're like really geeking out here, but man, he hangs that slider. Forget it. He's given up. Look at it. Carrasco, injury or not, leukemia or not, he hasn't had a good year either. Like even when he was healthy at the start of the year, he was hanging pitches and giving up a home runs. Even go back to his first start against the White Sox, same thing.
Yep.
But but all of this can be avoided if this organization would not keep guys like you and me and everybody else that follows this team in the dark. The other night, the Brad Hand situation, where apparently Rosenhaus sat in the middle of the 5th or 6th inning because Rosie was doing the game with.
It was the 7th.
He was doing the game with Charlie Nagy because Hammy took a trip off, and Rosenhaus out of nowhere said,
Hammy didn't take a trip off. Hammy's a tenured professor who said, "I don't want to go to California."
I love that man, but. Rosenhaus says in passing, "Oh yeah, Tito told us before the game that Brad Hand's sent home for an MRI." It's like, what? Like how? And then all of a sudden, people start tweeting out, "Hey, according to Jim Rosenhaus, blah blah and blah," and it's almost like the STO crew went, "Uh-oh, secret's out. Let's go down to Andre. Hey guys, guess what? Oh, it wasn't like Brad Hand just left the ballpark in the 5th inning and got on the plane. It's just such a bad look. The organization does most things above board and properly, but as far as how they handle injuries and how secretive they are with this Kremlin, Schembechlian crap. What is this? Oh, you can't tell anybody, Brad. It would have been an advantage to the other team not to see that he's not sitting out in the bullpen out there. Give me a break. That was weak.
You know what?
That was weak.
Very weak. And the most interesting thing I found with it was that Rick Manning and Matt Underwood did not know about this. They didn't. Because when they were going over whatever they were going over, I remember Manning saying something like, and I guess if we would have known, it was in the post game, and he was talking about Plutko and when he pulled Plutko, and he's like, well, if we would have known Hand wasn't with the team, I really would have questioned the move. So they didn't even know. The broadcast team was not made aware of it. Sounds to me like because they didn't want anybody on the Angels to find out. It's the fucking Angels without Mike Trout.
It's the last game of the series, right? It's the last game of the series, too. I mean, give me a break.
I understand, the competitive advantage thing, but, who cares if Brad Hand's not there and is not usable? What's the difference?
If I'm Manning and Underwood after that game, I go to Bart Swain or whoever is on their trip for PR, and I go, hey, that's bullshit. We work for you guys. We support you guys. We've been here for 150 some odd games, and you guys don't tell us. And we're throwing it down to our sideline guy, and he's telling us. Made us look like jackasses. I would have had I've seen that happen before, where I've seen play-by-play guys talk to the media relations staff and go, hey, thanks a lot. Bullshit. So that I thought it was crap. I thought it was. And then that puts Andre on the spot.
And that was on the manager. That was 100% on the manager. He's the one who calls that shot and tells these guys not to say anything.
And you're also picking a good spot when Mandy Bell isn't on the trip. Meisel, I don't think, was on the trip to L.A. So you got backup beat writers, fill-in guys. I don't think Hoynes was there either. Didn't seem like it. I don't think they made that trip. I think those guys were.
I think Hoynes was there. I don't know. But regardless, it was the way the Indians have handled injuries for years under Tito has been, I think, less than above board.
It's stupid.
And stupid. I agree. So it was not a great situation. And then the other thing that obviously we can object to is the handling of prized reliever James Karinchak. I mean,
the Chak attack. He looked good last night.
I was going to say he came in Saturday night. Pitched an inning and a third of scoreless baseball, striking out 3 of the 4 batters he faced. And the fact that he was not up until now is an egregious mistake. When you continue, when you're throwing guys out there who are all pitching over their skis for the first time in their careers, a lot of them for the first time in their careers, and you have nobody who throws hard, nobody. And you could have this guy up there throwing, I know, in 99, and I know you can tell me all you want, he walks people. And Tito's lame excuse of
he needs to work on fielding his position better.
Yeah, that's crap. I got a strikeout machine who it's more important to have him winning the AAA championship than coming up and helping the big club in a pennant race.
Well, I mean,
it sucked. Let me just.
It did suck. And the team's really. And what's funny is that, like you said, the team. How many wins do we have now? I didn't even look at the record today after the win.
How many wins do we have?
Yes.
Is that what you just asked me?
Yeah.
We are now 86-63.
How about that? And I know what people are going to say. Well, you beat up on some, the Royals and Tigers and White Sox.
Wrong. I was looking at the wrong box score. We're 87.
That's 63. Yeah, we're 24 over 500.
Yeah.
After starting 28-30, if I recall.
Yeah. Yes. But overall, this weekend in Cleveland, down at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario, was, I know they won today, but let me just read you, courtesy of our good friend, Cleveland Scene Zone, Andrew Zellman, a summary of the weekend for the Indians going into Sunday. Inexplicably started a game and played 3 innings before the worst storm of the season hit. Canceled season ticket holder event. Lost first game 2-0 in the matchup between Mike Clevenger and the Twins bullpen. Revoked tickets of a fan driving from Canada because of, quote, broker activity on the account. The entrances for game 2 were so backed up it took people over 30 minutes to get into the stadium. Blew a 5-2 lead and lost 9-5 in Game 2 to fall 5.5 games behind the Twins. A viral video came out of 3 guys engaged in a huge brawl in the upper deck during Game 2.
I mean, what are the Indians supposed to do about that? Seriously,
I know, but just
the cop was there. The cop fell over and hit his head.
Oh my God! Meanwhile, those were some serious punches being thrown.
That's the worst thing about Twitter and social media now. And instead of people protecting other people and breaking stuff up, they're on their phones taking it so
everyone's got their phone up
so they can get clicks. It sucks. I did see that. I'm guilty too. I sent it to you guys. Sent it to both you and Jeremy so you could see it.
And I enjoyed watching it. So there you go.
Oh man, it was probably the best part of the night last night after we got swept.
Certainly was.
All right, let's get some pitching matchups and this week going. But first, What's going on over at Dr. Ben Hornstein?
Other than him being very upset about the weekend series in against the Twins, Dr. Ben and his team over at the Center for Advanced Dentistry over there in Orange Place, right there off of Chagrin Boulevard, taking great care of people for years and years. Dr. Ben does all kinds of different dental work, whether it is just a regular teeth cleaning or dental surgery, whatever you might need. Dr. Ben and his staff will take care of you. Check them out, cfad.net or at CFAD Beechwood on Twitter. And again, Dr. Ben Hornstein, tell him you're a podcast listener. You heard how great he was. You heard about how great his comedy was. And, he'll put you at ease when he takes care of you. So check my man out, Dr. Ben Hornstein, Center for Advanced Dentistry, CFAD.net.
All right, Matt and Todd with you, Dery Brothers Tribecast. Tribe drops 2 out of 3 to the Twins. The deficit in the division is pretty much done. I mean, you're looking at 12 games left, and we're 4.5 back after today's win. It would take a monster collapse for this thing to happen. Minnesota's just a really good team, and their offense, like you said, Todd, relentless. Even in a loss today, Rosario hits 2 bombs. And next up, we got the Tigers at home. I believe the Indians are, is it 14-2? I believe against.
No, we've lost once. Didn't we sweep
is it
them
15? Is it 15-1 against the Tigers this year?
We've lost once to them, and it was in April.
Wow,
we beat them 14 straight times.
15-1. So they come in, of course, with the Major League's worst record. Tuesday night, down at the as you said, corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Adam Pletko against Matt Boyd. The Tigers haven't seen Matthew Boyd in a while. He used to kill the Tigers, but. He's given up a lot of home runs this year. Savali and Turnbull on Wednesday, and then Thursday night, Clevenger against Jordan Zimmerman. So those are your matchups for the first 3 games. Friday night, Shane Bieber will be back on the. Oh, wait a minute. Who am I missing?
Wrong.
No, Plesac. No,
Plesac is pitching Tuesday.
This is what the Indians announced: Pletko, Savali, and Clevenger. This is what they said before the game today.
Plesac altogether. I mean,
yes.
It's possible because they're holding his innings. So
That's what they announced. So I don't know if Plesac's going to pitch Friday or not. It's TBD. It could be Bieber, and Plesac would have to pitch in one of these games.
Yes, because the off day that Monday is the last off day. Well, the next 2 Mondays,
right?
The 16th and the 23rd are both off days.
Correct. So Friday, the Indians will see Drew Smyly. Do you know he's a starting pitcher for the Phillies?
Yes, I did.
And then
we're going to see 2 lefties in Philadelphia, which is actually good because that'll against Philadelphia because that means you got Luplow and in left field with the power bat against the lefties.
Right. Smiley's pitching Friday. I wrote it down. I can't find it. Vince Velasquez is one.
No.
Vargas
Smiley
Saturday.
Friday.
Yeah, Vargas Saturday. Velasquez Sunday.
Correct. And by the way, for you. Saturday night, 7:10 tilt is on FS1.
Thank God.
Which is good.
That'll be good.
And Sunday night is ESPN, obviously, and up against the Browns. And
you know what I'll be watching.
I know what you'll be watching.
Vinny Velasquez. Oh, baby. If you're a former member of Team D's. Team D's about to pull a big upset this weekend.
Speaking of big upsets, I took on the juggernaut squad in the semifinals of my fantasy league.
Yeah.
Who has been dominating wire to wire, and unless something dramatically changes tonight, with your boy is heading to the finals with an 8-2 victory. Came out of nowhere. Actually, 8-1.
You'll take it. I love it.
An update. You know who had a big week for me? Oscar Mercado, baby. 5 for 7 yesterday, 2 for 3 today.
Our executive producer, Jeremy, would not like this talk, but hey.
No, he does not. Nobody cares about your fantasy team. That's true.
But it's our show. It's our show. So, all right, when are you going? When are you?
Do what we damn please.
When are you going to the games this week? This is it. The last pack of home games.
The last hurrah. I'm going to try to get down there as much as I can. I'm definitely going Tuesday. Tickets for Friday. Sunday could have happened, but who knows? We'll see what the schedule maker has for me, but I'm going to do my best to get to as many as I can. And Got to see Annie and Josh one last time for the season, potentially.
Sure.
Actually, Josh has been MIA. Annie's back from her eye surgery, though, which is good. She looked good. Saw her twice this weekend. It's good to have her back.
Well,
Felt like home again.
Great to get
they are my summer family, after all.
No doubt. It was great to get a win today. Much needed. And now, I mean, there's no excuse. You got to go, 5-1 in this homestand, these last 6 against Philly and Detroit?
You can't lose a single game to the Tigers. You absolutely can't lose to the Tigers. At worst, they got to go 5-1. Unfortunately, Philadelphia is playing, they're still playing hard, which is too bad.
They are, but they're scattered. I mean, Real Muto is having a big year. Their first 5 is pretty good with Segura. No relation to Nate Segura, but sorry, I had to go there.
That was good. By the way I look at it is you're going to have to go 10-2 to get yourself into a 1-game playoff. If the Indians remain 2 games back, you're going to need to go 10-2 in these last 12 and hope that hope that Tampa goes 8-4. Because I just don't see Oakland's schedule so soft. There's no possible way that we're going to catch 3 games. So.
The one thing I wonder about the Rays, are they really going to keep this up? And I know Blake Snell's coming back and is going to pitch, I believe, either Monday or Tuesday against the Dodgers. So that's huge if he's healthy. But again, is he stretched out? I mean, this Rays throwing 8 relievers every game, is that eventually going to wear down? Are they eventually going to have a bad week like this week, where the Red Sox or Yankees or Dodgers?
They don't have to.
But I'm saying, like Red Sox, Yankees, Dodgers, do they all just mash some of these guys? I mean, Pagan is a really good closer. They've got some good, but like Oliver Drake, the guy's been a godsend for them. He pitches every day. But eventually, isn't Oliver Drake going to get hit?
Well, we've been waiting all year for it. Isn't it eventually going to happen to Nick Whitgren? Isn't it going to eventually happen to Nick Goody? So I don't know. Listen, it's again, Tampa is the team that I got to believe the Indians have a shot to catch, and hopefully the Yankees and Red Sox play them tough, and the Dodgers are still playing hard. And again, I think 10-2 is going to get into a 1-game playoff. That's what I think. But I think 10-2 is going to have to happen, and that's a big ask to tell your team go 10-2 in your last 12 games, or else you're not going to make it.
All right, brother.
Wait. By the way, go 10-2, and how many wins is that? What do we say? What are we at? 87. 10-2 puts you at 97 wins and potentially a 1-game playoff. If I told you at the beginning of the year we were going to win 97 games, then what would you have said?
I said we would have probably won the division.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We'll have plenty of time to talk about that at the end, however it finishes. But hopefully more baseball, hopefully handling their business this week. Way to get it done today, and enjoy this rainy weather.
Yes, you too.
There it is. Matt and Todd, Dery Brothers Tribecast for another week. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.